begin to understand the power of this stuff when it's put into play. And so, Father, please give us your Spirit's presence in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, I'm just going to warn you tonight. I'm going to warn everybody here tonight, because here's a problem. When you begin to learn the truth of God and then you refuse to use the truth of God, it does not turn out well. Generally speaking, when you know to do good and then you don't do it, it has a retroactive effect on your sin life. Okay? Ignorance, you still pay for ignorance, but you don't pay for it in spades generally. Okay? You just didn't know. Okay? But when you know something and then you refuse it and you really try to, you don't take heed to something that God gives you that truly speaks to your life. I'm not trying to scare anybody here. I'm trying to get you to understand the gravity of what you're going to learn tonight. Okay? If you will allow these principles to become part of your life, it will so dramatically change who you are, you will not know who you are after a period of time. But it will only depend upon how you apply yourself to these very simple truths tonight, and with the amount of intention that you pursue them. If you give a greater intention or a greater purpose towards it, it will profoundly affect you more quickly. If you lag and are lazy with it, you will not see the results of this in your life dramatically. I like dramatic results. I like to pray for something and God answer it 15 minutes later. I really like to see that. That tells me a couple things. There's a God in heaven and He's listening to me. Okay? I cannot tell you the confidence that builds in you unless you experience that yourself. And then to have it happen 5 or 10 times a week and you can't make none of it up, then you're on another level of understanding at that point. You're also under another level of challenge at that point. And so I want to teach you what this is my process. I have to tell you, I learned this from one of my mentors. He said, if you really want to change and heal your soul, you're going to have to pursue the thing that we began to speak about last week. So Brian, can we get the first verse up, Proverbs 3? Some of you were not here last week. You missed this. So here's what it says. So shall they be. Now we'll define the they in a moment, because you have to read more context to understand this. So shall they be life unto thy soul. Do you see this? The two things that are referenced here is wisdom and discretion. And wisdom is the primary. So when you get wisdom, it will be life unto your soul. This is what your soul needs right now. Because what's happening through doing everything in your life that you've done, and through the nature of the sinful individual, which we all are, we automatically put death in our soul in spades every day of our lives. Unless we proactively work against that, we will continue to just dump death into our life. This is why people regress more often than they progress, okay? It's because they keep dumping death in. And death is already there, and if you keep on dumping death, you just produce death in your soul. And that's why you have misery. That's why you don't have any joy. That's why you constantly have the desire to hide in something called an addiction, because you can't and you don't know how to manage the soul problem. Okay? So the great pursuit of this evening is the beginning to understand that every person in here, if you really want something that will be so permanently transformative to you, you're going to go after wisdom. This is not a Band-Aid. Wisdom is not an addiction solution. Wisdom is the absolute power of God working in your life in ways you can't even imagine. When you have that happening, your soul problems diminish on such an exponential level, you won't even understand it. You don't even, I have to be honest with you, I don't even know how God does it. He just does it. Okay? I mean, Well, there's other things. We're going to get into other things. I don't want to get too far ahead. All right. All right. Number 1, Proverbs 3:22 through 24. Wisdom will bring life to your soul. Fill it out. Wisdom. If you don't have a pen, steal one from somebody. Wisdom will bring life to your soul. Number 2, in order to heal your soul, you must pursue wisdom. Wisdom. You say, "Oh my goodness, I don't have any wisdom. I don't." Okay, you're gonna commit yourself tonight. I'm gonna, whatever pastor teaches me tonight, as long as it's biblical, I'm gonna go after it. I'm gonna pursue it. Okay? You ever had a rabid dog or a mad dog coming after you? That's pursuit, man. Okay? It's not you. You're fleeing. The pursuit is being done by the rabid dog. You need to become a rabid dog after wisdom. All right? Next, Proverbs chapter 2, verse 6. Look at it. What's it say? For the Lord giveth wisdom. Where does wisdom come from, my friends? The Lord. It doesn't come from a counselor. It doesn't come from an RU director. It doesn't come from your therapist. Wisdom comes from God. That's where it comes from. He's the source. There's another kind of wisdom. It's called the wisdom of the world. That's the one you don't want. You want God's wisdom. Okay? For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. Okay? So where does wisdom come from? It comes from God or from the Lord. Okay? Number 4. God gives wisdom. Let's get the verse up there, Brian. Daniel chapter 2. That's not, yeah, here he is. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom to who? Uh-oh. I think we're all in a pickle. Because God only gives wisdom to the wise. Now let's be honest. When I first learned this, I knew that God wasn't going to give me any wisdom because I didn't have any wisdom. That's why I was going to him in the first place. And I felt defeated immediately until the next point. Okay? But now let's not go there yet. Just listen to me. When you want wisdom and you have no wisdom, God says he's only going to give wisdom to the wise, so you have to become wise in an area. Okay? The Bible gives us, has anybody here got any kind of an English teacher background, or you were a good English student? Cynthia Sizemore. Okay, Jen. Jen, do you teach English? What does the word is mean in a sentence? Yeah, but it's also called something else. Thank you. State of being. Okay?
What did you say it was? A helping verb?
A helping verb. It's also considered a helping verb. That's a different curriculum. But the whole idea is, it actually, the word is, it's not wrong. It's not a wrong answer. But, all right, yeah. But listen now. You got to find an is. Because an is means you is. That's what it means. Bring the next verse up, Brian. Here we go. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of what life, and he that winneth souls is wise. You say, but I don't know how to win a soul. Okay, well, no, wait a minute. God will get you and take you from where you are to wisdom. Now watch. Maybe you don't have the training to win somebody to Christ, but you know what you can do? You can go grab somebody out there that is an addict and bring them into this meeting. Guess what your purpose is to try to win their soul. You may not have all the equipment to be able to do that properly in your mind or in your heart, but you can do what you can do. And so, listen, you want to go to God, do something with God that God says is wise. All right? This is exactly what I did. Now, I knew at the time when I learned this how to win somebody to Christ. So I just went out there and I just won somebody to Jesus. And I went back to my prayer closet that night and I said, guess who's here to talk to you tonight? And he said, who? And I said, a wise man. And he said, hey, not yesterday. I said, maybe not yesterday, but you said, I am today. Not me said, you said. Don't be afraid to tell God what he said. Because you know what? He loves that kind of boldness. Now, don't be going to God and telling him what he said when you ain't doing what you said. That's dangerous. And I went to God that night and I said, there's a new man here in the room tonight. A wise man. And I said, well, he's right here. Take a good look because I just won somebody to you. And he said, I did say that, didn't I? I said, guess now what I want. Because I know that you give wisdom to the wise, and guess who I is right now. I may not be wise in everything, but I can be wise in something, and I can stand before God and say, I, in this area, am wise, and you have promised to give wisdom to the, what's the next verse? Brian, give it to us. What's the next verse? If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally. That means that he easily gives it now when you ask. Okay? But you got to ask. The prayer of your mouth every day. As soon as you get up in the morning, as soon as you get in the car, as soon as you have a cogent thought of your day, you want to tell God, God, I'm here today and I need your wisdom. I'm begging for your wisdom. I'm asking for your wisdom. I want your wisdom. And you ask him until you drive him absolutely berserk with your asking. You say, wait a minute, you don't think God's going to get tired of me? Absolutely not. You're going to get God's attention like you've never gotten God's attention before. You say, God, I'll ask, and I don't know if I'm going to get anything. Just keep on asking. The primary principle. Question? I did. God gives wisdom to the wise. Do something wise. Sorry. He that winneth souls is wise. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of I'm preaching instead of teaching for a second. Sorry. Go to God and tell him what you've done. Go to God and tell him what you've done. Now, I'm going to tell you the secret to this is to get wisdom, and it's about getting wisdom, but what God wants from you is he wants to realize, he wants you to prove to him you want it. When you prove to him you want it, and you keep asking, that's why I said, you go to him and you bother him. And you bother him, and you bother him. And you continue to bother him. Guess what? God may not give me anything, but he's going to know I was around. Okay? You pursue. You pursue. Okay? Let's keep going here. Let him know you are wise. Next, James 1:5. Can we get it up there, Brian? If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not. Wait, back it up. Back it up. And it, what? Shall be given him. So when you ask, God has made a promise to you. Okay? Is God a liar? Then you tell him that. Say, God, I know you're not a liar. And you have promised, now that I'm wise, you'll give wisdom to me. Because you give wisdom to the wise. And God, I just go humbly. Lord, I want wisdom. And Lord, if I could just remind you that you've promised to give wisdom to me because I'm asking. And so now I'm going to ask you all the time for wisdom. Okay? Can anybody do this? Mm-hmm. That's what's so awesome about it. Okay? Ask God for it. Ask so much you drive him nuts. Whatever you want to put in there will fit. Why? Give me the next verse, Brian. But let him ask in faith. You got to trust. He's going to give it to you. Let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. Don't be a waffler. Listen, I'm going to help you do this. When you get in your car, the first thing you do, you should get at home, get a piece of paper, and put wisdom on it and stick it right over your speedometer, okay, or somewhere in there where you can see it as soon as you get in the car, because that's what it's going to do. What's it going to do? It's going to remind you. And you're going to say, Lord, I want to start this car. I'm going to ask you for wisdom right now. And then when you get to your mirror in the bathroom, when you wake up and you try to fix yourself up so you look good for the day, put on your mirror right there, wisdom, okay? Guess what's going to remind you to ask God, okay? And then when you get to work, you're going to have a little thing at work on your desk there, wherever you work, someplace in your space that you're going to see. Inside your locker, whatever it is, you open that locker up, first thing it stares you in the face, ask God for wisdom. Just stop for a second. God, I'm just asking you. I'm at work right now. It's crazy here sometimes. I need wisdom, and I want you to give it to me. You just keep asking and keep asking and keep asking, and don't waver. Just press forward. Next, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. You're going to be all over the place if you go all over the place. You don't want this. You want to find wisdom, and you want to begin to pursue it on purpose, and then you want God to respond, so you begin to sense it, and that will encourage you. If you waver with this, that will not happen to you. You have to be consistent. Press on. Next verse, please, Brian. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. Wavering is not a good idea. Because you will be, here's what you'll do. You'll be half in, you'll be half out. And then God's going to be like, listen, you're not going to get any from me if you're not going to get pursuing me for real. You start pursuing me for real, and you convince me. You convince me you want it. And I'll give it to you. All right? Next one. Ask God for it. Ask so much you drive him nuts. Proverbs 13:20. Next one. He that walketh with wise men, next word, shall be wise. Next thing you need to do is you need to start hanging around people who have wisdom. Brian, he that walketh with wise men will be wise, but a companion of fools will be destroyed. If you're going to pursue wisdom, you're going to begin to show God that you're willing to do what he says rather than what you want. He doesn't want you being a companion of fools, because a companion of fools is somebody who's not exhibiting any traits of wisdom. So, my mentor said, you need to start hanging around with wise men. Now, I didn't hang out. I wasn't like this puppy dog going around. No, I just said, okay, now who's wise around me? Who can I, okay, when they spoke, guess what I did? I listened. When they conducted their life and I knew they were a wise person, I watched them. And then I put into action in my life things that I saw and felt were wise in their life. They knew how to use money. Guess what I learned how to do? Use money. I began to learn the different things, because here's why. Every time you do that, you're teaching God that you really want wisdom. Now, he wants to see it in you. He wants to sense it in you. You can do this. I promise you, you can do this. Okay? He that walketh with wise men will be wise, shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. What is the definition of wisdom? I'm going to give you a very simple definition. This is your kickoff point for wisdom. Every week, we're going to look at a couple of points on how you add wisdom to your life. Wisdom is the secret weapon over the soul, and which creates soul healing. Okay? So, this is the definition according to your sheet. This is the simplest definition. Doing what Jesus would do if he were in your shoes. You heard the old "what would Jesus do" things we used to wear around our wrists years ago. You have no idea, understanding what God wants for you and then acting upon it, how that initiates God's interaction in your life. Okay, Tyler, can I embarrass you for a second? How many weeks ago did you get off your weed addiction? No, he's not going to lie. He's not going to lie. Give me a ballpark. Month and a half to 2 months ago. Okay? I saw a change in this guy's heart. He just decided he was going to, you testifying of this? He just decided he was going to go after God. Okay, so Tyler, the moment that you got off of the weed addiction, not the moment, but would you give me the next few things that happened in your life consecutively that we have talked about, and that you, what was the first thing that happened was literally a miracle from God? Would you tell me what it is? Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for this? Just stand up, Tyler. The guy gets off. He starts to go after God. And what happens out of nowhere? What happened? How much does it cost you to stay in that apartment? Zero money. Okay? Somebody, another Christian, I'm assuming. How did you find that Christian? He just happened to know somebody. He's got, no. You don't understand. All the other apartments are little ones. He's got the manager's suite. Is that not right? Okay? Listen, when God starts doing it, you can't take any credit for it. Okay? All right? Then what happened just a couple days after that? A job. Out of nowhere. A job. And didn't we just pray to heal that head gasket? I think we did. No broken head gasket now. Okay. Listen, I can't say that everybody's life is going to go just like that. Literally, I'm sitting here sometimes thinking, okay, God, you're just kind of putting it on a little too heavy. I mean, come on, you know. But you know what my heart does? It rejoices because God's doing that for him. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, you go after wisdom. Listen, the devil does not want you to go after wisdom. He is going to, you don't understand. You just potentially hooked into the lifeline right now of really having some transformation that literally in a short time, and I don't mean like 20 years, I mean like in 6 months, you won't even know who you are if you really hook into wisdom. You just won't recognize you. You won't recognize the way you think. You won't recognize the way you feel. You will begin to understand that there is something bigger out there than anything you've ever experienced in your life. Listen, you won't want to go back because you'll be sitting here thinking to yourself, that is the dumbest thing I would ever do. Why would I give this up? Now listen, your soul's not healed yet. At that point, you're in the euphoria of seeing God work. That's a good place to be. You're not healed yet. You got to keep pursuing wisdom. Every week, I'm going to give you a couple of more points of how to add wisdom into your life. God tells you certain things to do so that you can get more wisdom. Now that you're a wise person, you deserve that because God gives wisdom to wise people. And when he gives it to the wise, he's like, hey, listen, just ask me. I'll just dump it out in bucketfuls for you if you really want it. Now, you got to decide tonight one thing. Do you really want it? Do you really want wisdom? See, in the past, We all wanted to be free of our addiction. We wanted this. We wanted to get our family back together. We wanted to get our kids back. We wanted to not feel this bondage. You see, we're always pursuing the wrong fix. We're pursuing the thing where we hurt, most likely. Because our addiction has hurt not only us, but others. And so we want to fix that hurt to try to regain what we had at one time. But no, this is a whole nother level. This is, you're going to go get something you've never yet had. And when you get it, it's going to transform your thinking. But you're going to have to go after it. It will not come free or easy. But if you will pursue, you will see God look down and say, what's going on down there? You know what that's called? Getting God's attention. There's nothing that gets God's attention, like somebody that doesn't have any wisdom, deciding to step out on faith and say, God, here I am. Guess who's here today? And he's like, what are you talking about? Let's guess who's here today. Yeah, I know yesterday it was a different guy, but today, or a different girl, but today it's me. And I have wisdom. And because I have wisdom, you said you'd give me some wisdom. Because now I'm a wise person. And I'm going to ask you for it, and I'm going to bother you for it, God. Just tell him what you want, and that you're going to go after it, and then do it. You can do that. Anybody in here can do it. Think of the intention that people in this room have put into trying to just find a little bit more, to satiate a desire that was never really even legitimate in the first place. Hold on. Just think of the desire, the lengths that you would go through sometimes to do that. Why don't you turn that around and focus that energy and that desire for just a minute and say, God, I want wisdom. In 6 months, you won't even know who you are. Father, I'm praying that you would drive this group, even tonight, before they put their head down on their pillow, that they would say, God, please, of everything that I want, everything that I would like to change, the first thing that I would want from you is wisdom. God, right now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but I can promise you one thing. You're going to know who I am, because I'm coming after it. And then you go after it. God, please, I pray that you would challenge every heart, that your Spirit would press each and every person in this room. And Lord, I know what you'll do because I've already seen